synapse. The junction between the two neurons is called synapse, or you can say it is a specialized junction where the transmission of information take place between a nerve fiber and another nerve fiber. Or students, as you can see in the diagram, it is not an anatomical continuation, but it is only a physiological continuity between the two nerve cells, where the information from one neuron is transmitted to another neuron. The synapse consists of three elements. Number 1, presynaptic neuron, number 2, postsynaptic neuron, and number 3, synaptic cleft. What do you mean by presynaptic neuron? Basically, it is a neuron which carries an impulse toward a synapse. And what do you mean by postsynaptic neuron? Basically, it is a neuron which receives the impulse after it crosses the synapse. And the space between the presynaptic and postsynaptic ending is called synaptic cleft. Now the mechanism of synaptic transmission. So here the question is, what do you mean by synaptic transmission? Basically, the movement of impulse across the synapse is called synaptic transmission. So students, as you can see in the diagram, that at the end of presynaptic neuron there are voltage gate called calcium channels. So when an action potential reaches the synapse, these channels open and causing the calcium ions to flow into the cell. Now these calcium ions causes the synaptic vesicle to fuse with the cell membrane. So what do you mean by synaptic vesicle? Basically, it is a membranous sac, and the main function of synaptic vesicle is to store various neurotransmitters that are released at the synapse. Now here the question is, what do you mean by neurotransmitters? Basically, neurotransmitters is a type of chemical messenger which transmits signals across the chemical synapse from one neuron to another target neuron. So when these calcium ions causes the synaptic vesicle to fuse with the cell membrane, they are going to releasing their contents, that is the neurotransmitter chemicals, by the process called exocytosis. Then the neurotransmitter diffuse across the synaptic cleft. After this, the neurotransmitter diffuse across the synaptic cleft, as you can see in the diagram, and then it's bind to the neuroreceptors that are present in the postsynaptic membrane and causing the channels to open and allow sodium ions to diffuse across the postsynaptic membrane. As a result, postsynaptic membrane depolarize and an action potential is generated. Since this depolarization brings the membrane potential toward the threshold level, then it is called excitatory postsynaptic potential, that is EPSP. Students, remember one thing, once the neurotransmitter have act on a postsynaptic membrane, they are immediately broken down by enzymes. Like acetylcholine is hydrolyzed by acetylcholinesterase and adrenaline by monoamine oxidase. Now the classification of neurotransmitters. So neurotransmitters are classified as excitatory neurotransmitters and inhibitory neurotransmitters. So what do you mean by excitatory neurotransmitters? Basically, these neurotransmitters have excitatory effects on the neuron. This means that these neurotransmitter causes increased membrane permeability to sodium ions and trigger the nerve impulse. This type of neurotransmitter are said to be excitatory neurotransmitters. Examples of excitatory neurotransmitters are acetylcholine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, serotonin, and dopamine. Acetylcholine is a excitatory neurotransmitters of peripheral nervous system, and epinephrine and norepinephrine increase the heartbeat during stress condition, or dopamine and serotonin play an important role in sleep and memory as well in metabolism. Basically, students, remember one thing, that the physical activity stimulates the release of dopamine and serotonin. For example, the regular exercise can positively impact serotonin levels in our brain. Next one is inhibitory neurotransmitters. Basically, these types of neurotransmitters have inhibitory effects on the neurons. Or you can say this neurotransmitter reduces the chances of a new nerve impulse. Examples of inhibitory neurotransmitters are GABA, that is gamma aminobutyric acid, glycine, and endorphins. The principal role of GABA is reducing a neuronal excitability throughout the nervous system. And glycine is the major inhibitory neurotransmitters in the brainstem and the spinal cord. Or you can say that the glycine show inhibitory neurotransmission in the spinal cord and the brainstem. And endorphin reduce the pain and boost the pleasure. Basically, the endorphins function as both neurotransmitters as well as hormones. So endorphins are released in response to pain or stress, but they are also released during other physical activities. Today we have covered synapse, that is a neuronal junction, or as we discussed, that it is a site of transmission of electric nerve impulse between the two nerve cells, or between a neuron or a gland or a muscle cell. Or we have discussed the synapse consists of three elements, that is presynaptic neuron, postsynaptic neuron, and synaptic cleft. And we have discussed the mechanism of synaptic transmission, and then we have discussed the classification of neurotransmitters, that is excitatory neurotransmitters and inhibitory neurotransmitters.